It is Tuesday, September 10th of 2019, and post-birthday, post-Apple event stuff. Yeah. Guys Daily Drive. And hello everyone. We are back. This is the first Guys Daily Drive I have done since returning from Florida. And it's been it's been really busy since I got back. I got back a week ago yesterday. And I'm glad the whole thing is over, essentially. I mean, it was such a pain in the neck. But you deal with what you got to deal with, and that's just the way that goes. Now, yesterday, Monday, September 9th, was my birthday, and thank you to everyone who sent me birthday wishes. I really do appreciate that. Didn't really do anything super special on my birthday itself. We've been kind of slack at work because we were waiting for this new contract to kick in. And it kicked in yesterday on my birthday with a vengeance. We were so busy. I didn't really have time to think about much of anything other than trying to get my work done. Saturday was my son Guy's birthday, Guy Jr., and he had decided that he was going to spend it with with his girlfriend down in Richmond, which is, that's fine, I understand. If I wasn't married and had a girlfriend, I think I would rather spend my birthday with her than my parents. But it was his 25th birthday, and I was talking to him yesterday, and he was basically saying that this was the first kind of milestone birthday that he'd had since his 21st birthday. Now, of course, everything being relative, it's only been 4 years since his 21st birthday. But the 25th birthday, I mean, that's a quarter of a century. So I guess that was pretty significant. And depending on your point of view, of course, it can be. For me, my 25th birthday was mostly, can't remember if I was overseas on that birthday or not, or maybe that was before I got the job where I was traveling overseas. But nearly in nearly every case after that birthday until I was 31, almost all my birthdays were away from the United States. I was off someplace working that wasn't in the United States. So I never really gave my birthday much thought. Even my 30th, where I was in I was in Harare, Zimbabwe for my 30th birthday. And I don't know if I've told that story. I'm not going to tell it now, but it is a very interesting story. There was some shenanigans going on that day. And at the time, it didn't really seem like it was going to be shenaniganish. But sometimes you don't have much to say in what goes on around you. It was good. It was a good time. Ended up being a good time. Even the aftermath, which, looking back, didn't seem like a good time, but it was just it's part of what made it an interesting story. But getting off my birthday, there was also an Apple event today. And, I don't really know how I feel about it. I mean, I've seen a lot of Apple events, and I've been to more than my fair share of keynotes, especially at the Macworld Expo. As a matter of fact, only at the Macworld Expo. And what I have kind of come to realize since the passing of Steve Jobs isn't that Apple is lacking in innovation or any other nonsense that the tech press wants you to believe. But Tim Cook is just boring as a presentator. He doesn't really convey a whole lot of excitement. And the people that come on to make the various announcements after that kind of reflect that as well. Almost all of them, all of the people coming out onto the stage, it seemed very scripted. It seemed, you weren't gonna say or do anything that was unexpected. Everything was rehearsed, and it just wasn't very exciting. Now, there was some new stuff announced. Some of it was very cool. There was some new services. The arcade was announced. My camera mount is starting to shift. Arcade was announced, and that's set at $4.99. Pretty good price for, so far, not that many games that I could tell. Apple TV Plus was announced, and it was kind of a pleasant surprise that it's being priced at $4.99, which again, because of lack of a whole lot of content, that seems like a fair price. But it's certainly, it's certainly a much lower price than I think most people expected. Then they got into the hardware. There was a new iPad that was actually quite a big surprise. A couple things about the iPad that I like. Number one, the price is pretty spectacular, starting at $329, I think, with an absolute highest price of $559, and that's with 256 gigs of storage and cellular. Well, there goes the phone all over the place. Camera's swinging around. It's swinging. So that's a pretty good price, but it's the A10 processor, so it's an older processor. It still uses the Lightning connector, so it's not using USB. It did have the smart connector, which I think was a positive development. Other than that, good price. Kind of surprised that they're hanging on to some of the old technology, though at the price point they're selling it, I guess maybe it's not such a big surprise. Then there was the Apple Watch, 5th generation Apple Watch, some new materials that they're making it out of, some new colors. It's kind of, okay, we expected pretty much this. There were some new health studies that they're doing in conjunction with the watch, which is always a good idea. Then they got to the phones, and there's an iPhone 11 and an iPhone 11 Pro. iPhone 11 is essentially this year's iPhone XR, and come on, you freaking idiots. The iPhone 11 Pro, of course, gets all the cool G-Wiz stuff. They both have the new, come on, the new A13 Bionic processor. Lots of cores, lots of stuff. The iPhone 11 has an OLED screen instead of like what the XR had, which was an LED screen. Yikes! This thing is like flying all over the place. The Pro has a 3-camera setup, and they've got this cool feature where when you take a picture, it's got 4 frames before you hit the shutter, 4 frames after you hit the shutter, and you can kind of choose which frames you want. So that's kind of cool. And there was... God, this is going to make me crazy. I don't know why it's bouncing like this. Everything is pretty tight as far as I can tell. All right, let's see if we can finish this up. So that's you know, the iPhone 11 has a pretty good starting price. I think it was $599 to $829, something like that, for some pretty decent specs. The iPhone Pro with its 3rd camera, I think, starts at just under $1,000 and goes up depending on the amount of storage that you have with it. They had kind of a cool new color. It was kind of almost like a dark green, I'm not really sure what you would call the color. Basically, it's this kind of a dark green, and that actually looks pretty cool. I kind of like that. I don't know if it's cool enough that I would get an iPhone 11 Pro. I mean, I'm still on an iPhone 8 Plus, and it's a great phone. It just keeps working, doing exactly what I expect of it. And until there's something that is significantly better, or until this phone won't do something that I want it to do, I'll probably hang on to it. I mean, it's about 2 years old now, and that doesn't really bother me. I enjoy the using that phone and all the things that it does. I would need to see some degradation before I would even really kind of consider going to a new phone. But we'll see what happens with iOS 13. I haven't put that on the phone. So I'm relatively happy with my phone. I have a Series 3 watch that I'm happy with. I have an iPhone 8 Plus that I'm happy with. I have an iPad Pro that I'm happy with. I have a 2013 MacBook Pro that I'm happy with. And I've got a relatively new 27-inch iMac that I'm happy with. There's just not a lot of stuff that I want to put down some significant coin for yet. Maybe that will change as more stuff comes out or more capabilities are announced. We'll see. If you would like to get a hold of me, you can do so. Send me an email, guy@mymac.com, or send me something on the Twitters, twitter.com/MacParrot or twitter.com/VertShark. If you would like to help donate to the crazy things that I do, patreon.com/MacParrot is one good way to do it. Coffee, if you would like to do like a one-time payment, coffee, ko-fi.com/MacParrot. And my now not so new, but it's new compared to the others, paypal.me/MacParrot. I also do the Mac to the Future live cast on Wednesday nights. That'll be tomorrow night. We'll be talking more about the Apple announcements today with Warren Sklar, David Ginsburg, one or the other of those two guys, or maybe both. That would be nice. There's also the MyMac.com podcast that I do every single week with Mr. Gazmaz. We just did a show, and I got to say, I was really, really happy with how the audio came out for the first time in a long time. I didn't feel like changing my audio setup, so I'm going to keep it exactly as it is. We'll see how it sounds with Boink's software's Mimo live presentation software that I use for the Mac to the Future. But I think that is going to about do it. Thank you all for downloading, watching, and or listening. If you're doing this through the iTunes instead of watching it on YouTube, I really do appreciate it. And until I do another one of these, I will catch you all next time, right here on Guy's Daily Drive. What a crazy, crazy way to end the show.